Hey everybody, it's Justin from Mayday, joined once again by...
Ari.
Hey, that's my daughter, Ari. We are here to... this, I guess, is going to be our second debut episode. I don't know, our second episode, I guess, officially. Of our Runaways podcast.
Yeah.
Right?
Indeed.
We figured since the entire show is about teenagers and their shady parents... Or maybe shady parents. We don't really know, I guess, for certain yet. I guess we do. I guess it's official. Yeah, I guess we do. They're shady. Why not do a show that involves teenagers and their parents? So here we are. So we went through the first 3 episodes where we got to know our gang of roving teenagers and their parents and the pride and where everybody has come from.
And now the plot's starting.
And now we're getting into the thick of things where the kids are trying to figure out, well, what the hell just happened with the girl and the magic bean? And
what is this bean?
Who's the guy in the crusty bed with the mask on?
Yeah, like what is this?
There's a raptor.
There's a raptor.
But not everybody knows about that yet.
Nobody else.
So really, this episode is very interesting because now we're kind of getting into this parents keeping secrets from their kids and the kids discovering that parents aren't perfect, right?
Oh, nowhere near perfect because literally they're all murderers.
Are they? Do we know that yet? As far as the TV show goes?
I'm pretty sure as of the end of this episode. Yeah. I'm pretty convinced.
You're pretty convinced that everybody...
I've also read the original comics, though, so I know how this will maybe possibly...
So just so you know, Ari will be the... in the comics person of this podcast. I have not read the comics, so I'm going to be the comics newbie. So Ari will have to fill us in on all the things if she wants to. But we have had this conversation prior, and I mentioned this on a prior podcast, that Hulu's job in making a television show is to make a good what?
The TV show.
That's right. It's Hulu's job to make a good TV show, not make the most faithful adaptation of the Runaways comics. Now, they do have Brian K. Vaughan on as executive
my original writer
producer. Yes, so we have the faith that the man who is behind the original story will do good by the story. And I, not being a person who is familiar with the comic, I think he's done a good job so far.
They've done a pretty good job. It's not like it's took a very different turn, especially with introducing the parents' point of view than the comics. Which I was kind of impressed by how they played that off and still somehow managed to retain to some of the plot. But it for those of you who have actually read the original comics, you will know it is not close.
But you feel okay with it, right?
I feel okay with it. I like how they've... Now,
do they have are the basics right? Like, as far as, like, let's boil it down to the essentials. Like, you got the group of kids.
Yeah, you got the group of kids.
You got the group of parents.
They're in a cult.
A thing has happened.
The church isn't there. The church didn't happen. Okay. The church wasn't in the originals.
But somebody got killed.
Somebody got killed. They snuck in on it by accident. They saw it on exit.
And now shenanigans
is going to ensue. Now, the other thing is that it's very big in the TV show is that the sacrifice didn't work, and so they ended up murdering a kid to hide it up.
Right, so that part was interesting to me now that I'm thinking about it. So the sacrifice didn't work, but they killed her anyway. So why doesn't that count?
I don't know.
Does she have to go in the bean?
She has to go in the bean.
She has to die in the bean?
She has to die in the bean, because in my theory, the bean transports all the energy to the other bean.
To the crusty guy in the bed, right?
Guy in the bed.
Okay, who we don't know what he is yet. We have a theory, I guess.
We do kind of.
At least I hope.
He's the,
Like, we think he's Carolina's real father.
Yeah.
And Carolina's mother, obviously her husband, hopefully. Or I guess whatever they are from outer space.
Yeah. Like did they ever give their name a race? I don't even know.
I don't know.
They
haven't yet. We just know that they are the Church of Gibberum, which I think is a fairly ridiculous name for a thing.
It is.
But...
Well, that's what the name of the celestial beings in the original comics was. Like, that was the whole thing. Like, they're sacrificing to Gibberum, who are giant aliens.
And he is a fairly large thing in the bed. I mean, he's not gigantic huge.
I'm talking
super gigantic.
Oh, we're talking like Transformer size. Like, we're huge.
Huh,
huge.
Interesting. Or maybe they have to shrink down to fit in the earth. I don't know.
Given CGI, I don't know. Like, I don't know what their budget is for CGI, so that probably had to be compromised.
Very true.
Also, the plot.
So where we are when we start this episode is that they figured out. Oh, Victor figured out that the bean didn't work. So the girl. He had to figure out what to do with the girl, but we don't figure out what happened until the beginning of this episode, which is he killed her and she washed up on the beach.
And also, he may or may not be going insane.
That's right. He says he's got, because
first time he saw the girl, he saw Destiny, and she was like,
yeah, he's having all kinds of...
Essentially, everything that she said translated to, you killed me, what the hell?
Yeah.
And then the second time, it's the girl in the back of the truck, and then there's nothing there. Yeah, and I was all like...
And we guessed that maybe he's hallucinating? I don't know, it seems very strange.
And then he started talking about, like, the medicine for malaria.
He took malaria medication prior to going to Africa, he said, and that's what's making him go a little crazy. Now, he does look a little funky. He's all sweaty. He's a little peaked. So we don't really know what's going on with Victor. All we know is we thought he had a lady in the back of the van. Turns out he does not. So Victor and Robert, who is Nico's dad, has to go... find themselves a homeless person and or prostitute.
For
somebody that won't be missed, quote unquote. Or somebody that doesn't matter, I believe is how they refer to.
And it's who is literally non-existent on the right.
They're just trying to get somebody because crusty guy in the bed needs a sacrifice in the bean. We got to make it happen.
Yeah,
it's not happening because as Carolina's mother says, he's sicker than he's ever been. Right? Because
he's sicker than he's ever been. And then weird stuff happened.
That's right.
And I was like, no.
So,
let's not.
All right, so let's start at the start. So Amy is the dead friend.
Amy's Nico's dead sister.
Yes, and so at the beginning of this episode, we get a flashback.
Suicide?
We get a flashback of Nico discovering Amy, and that's who found her. It's
overdose.
Set up as a suicide, but she's been reading her diary. And
now her mom has some shady crap going on with this thing in the Staff of One, and I was like...
Oh, is that what it's called?
That's what it's called. It's called the Staff of One. I know this because of the comics, and I don't know if they'll give it a name in this one. But the whole deal in the comics was that A, you needed blood to activate it. B, you can use words, like command words, to actually like make it do things. You can only use it once. So essentially, Nico turned into a walking thesaurus.
Oh, so she has to make up a new word every time she uses it?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, if she wants to make it snow again like she did, she can't use whatever... Well, she didn't really use anything.
She didn't use anything
in the
thing, which I was like, really? Huh. There are no constraints.
Well, you don't know. We don't know the rules
Not yet, at least. I don't know the rules. She didn't say anything.
So, the important things we learn in this opening scene are that... Amy, or Nico, not always the goth chick.
Not always. She was like normal kid, and then now she's like goth chick. I'm like, is this like ultimate edgy backstory?
Not always the goth girl. Not always the goth girl. So, in that, her mom, apparently, the parents appear to be paying off this detective who comes in later to not report these deaths and the missing
Specifically
kids.
The mom, though.
Because when we get to the part where Victor and Robert are trying to get the homeless guy in the van and he's fighting back, when they're getting arrested, they say, I'm going to call Flores or Gonzalez.
Flores.
So that's when you know that they're paying off this guy.
This dude's shady.
Now, so all the friends call in and say, hey, did you watch the news? And we find out that
Nico was not up with the time.
Nico was reading Amy's diary and did not realize that the body had washed up on the shore. So now everybody is like, what the junk is going on?
Happening?
Because I think the last time we left her, Victor did a fake call from her phone or something, and they made it seem like she was in Paris.
Yeah, like they get a fake that she was in Paris, and then all of a sudden she's on the shore.
And then Victor, not smart enough to realize that the tide washes in sometimes.
Because he's an idiot.
But he's a scientist who invented...
I know.
Well, to be fair, a non-working magic bean. But I guess the bean has worked before, because how else would we be here?
Yeah, and they also did, like, rat tests.
They did rat tests on the bean?
They did rat tests on the bean. And that's, like, one of the first scenes you see the bean in, and they put it in the thing, and it doesn't work, and they're like, oh, no, we won't tell them we'll hope it works, and this whole thing, they cover it up. Huh. And that's why Victor's, like, he goes back, because the bean isn't working.
Yep.
He knows it won't work, and he opens it, like, you're not supposed to be here, and he cuts to black, and I'm like,
What are you going to do?
Sorry, what?
So at this point, everybody in the group is kind of fractured as to whether they think their parents are murderers, do they think their parents are hiding something,
or if it's just like some gibbering thing, which is Gert and
yes, because it seems to fall down the lines of whether you really like your parents or not. So like Chase is pretty sure that everybody's a killer because he doesn't really like his dad very much. His
dad's abusive and also kind of a mad scientist.
It's very true. And then Gert and Carolina, who have like good parents,
relatively good parents,
are hopeful Carolina, that it's something else.
Like, Mom, no.
And Alex is not quite sure because Alex is kind of on the fence with his dad and his parents because there's a lot of things that he doesn't know.
Yeah, especially after
which comes up after he finds the gun in the drawer because he tries to go back.
Like packs of money.
Yeah, he tries to go back to the quote unquote murder library. Is that what they were calling it?
Murder library.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's a great name for it?
The murder library.
And so he can't get back in there, but he does find the secret drawer full of guns and cash.
What is this thing with like his parent, like his dad, supposed to be being arrested for murder?
That was what they said at the beginning in the episodes. Is that his
my
dad?
Dad's not a murderer. Well, he did have the murder library in his basement, so. And I was like, that's all the justification you need, my dude. Like.
Well, it has to be somewhere.
I know, like I mean, it has to be somewhere. But, like, would you really want to put in a guy who's been accused of murder's house? Like, I mean, that's not the best way to hide up.
Maybe they drew, like, straws or something? I don't know.
Like, put it in Gert's house.
You would never suspect them.
They're like what do we call crunchy granola scientists?
Crunchy granola parents.
Nobody suspects the crunchy granola scientists that, A, have a dinosaur living in their basement.
Not a hedgehog.
Not a hedgehog. Not a hedgehog. Not a hedgehog at all.
No.
Old ladies would eat a hedgehog and not even feel any pain.
Very true. So, a couple other things happen along the way. So, we talked about how they try to get the homeless person. That does not go well. Does not go well. Robert,
guy, like...
Robert and Victor are not particularly good at this, apparently.
And also, like, he just, like... The old guy is, like, fast. And
yeah.
like... What just
well, I don't know. I've never lived on the streets, but I'm going to guess if I was living on the streets, I'd be like on my toes all the time, like people trying to take your stuff. So maybe that's why. You don't know.
Man, like, I was like, whoa.
But obviously doesn't go well. Now, that's when we find out about the crusty mystery old guy in the bed and that he's super sick. Then it's high school time. All right. Let's go to high school. So what happens at high school after people have a fight at a party over the weekend? It's time for a good old-fashioned lacrosse team bro down.
Yes.
So look,
my favorite line.
So Chase is just there minding his biz, talking to Gert about how he didn't want to pretend like he didn't like her because he didn't make anything seem weird because obviously 2 days ago they didn't like each other.
Yeah, like.
But then here comes lacrosse team and bros. And it's time for a bro down. And he says, you didn't apologize, bro. And he said, I'm not going to apologize, bro.
Well, good. He's like, I broke a rib, bro. Well, good thing you have 23 more. Knees him in the chest.
Yes.
I was hollering.
And I will say that fight got broken up faster than any high school fight has ever got broken up in the history of high school fights. There is literally no way that did not go more than 2 seconds. And that's not how that happens. Maybe that's how
everybody else would just clear out and watch it happen. Let's be honest. Like I would just be on the sidelines, like
there was nobody
bag of popcorn.
There was nobody yelling fight. Like I don't know. That's how it went down when I was in school.
That was like okay. Let's be honest. Fights at my school would just be like cleared up in 2 seconds because here comes the principal racing down the hallway after 2 seconds, and then like you got the mob, so people automatically know something's going on. So then like, I mean. That got broken up fast, and I don't know if the other dude bros would just be like, in real life, the other dude bros would probably just be like, fight him! I don't give a crap anymore.
So that gets broken up in record time. And then we of course get a little victim shaming from random high school girl who blames Carolina for dudes taking advantage of her at the party and for being ruining the lacrosse team, which I feel like this is the thing that happens in high school.
That sounds like high school.
In high school shows that I have never seen happen, and maybe it's just because I'm a dude that didn't happen when I was, I don't know.
I've never seen that happen, or anywhere or any shows that I've ever watched in my life.
Well, the shows I've seen it. There's always the one who blamed the girl who did the thing that because it's the lacrosse team. I don't know.
And also maybe because your boyfriend's probably on that lacrosse
team.
Let's be honest.
That's a good call.
In my head, I was thinking that was probably your boyfriend who just got kneed and nailed by freaking Chase, wasn't it? Like, true. Let's be honest. I think the only reason why that would ever come up is if she was overprotective girlfriend.
All right,
like,
so
man, you suck.
This leads us right to super weird fun time.
Oh, it does.
In the secret room.
Oh my god.
So Carolina's mom
that was beyond weird.
Is talking to crusty old guy whose name we don't know. And she's trying to make him feel better. And he says something. He says something.
He said stop.
He said stop. Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said stop.
There's got to be something I can do. And then I don't know. Next thing I know,
next thing
she's getting naked in the bed.
I was like, what is happening? No. I was like, I did not ask for this. It's the last thing I needed. I'm like, so, I'm mature. I'm okay. I can handle this. I'm sorry.
It is very weird. And then to make it even weirder, there's some glowing. I
don't know.
There's glowing under the sheets.
I swear, I was like,
So really, all we've gathered from that is that they have some kind of intimate relationship, apparently, which clearly leads us to believe that
that's
is
the whole
Carolina's
theory
father.
It's like her actual father, and then dumb
and actor guy who's like, I thought you had an affair.
For him. What was our nickname for him?
Oh, I don't know. Did we have one? Oh, well, he's Sunshine from he's Sunshine from not Revenge of the Titans nor Clash of the Titans. Remember the Titans. Separate properties, different kinds of movies, different kinds of stories. Sunshine, who was the California quarterback they bring in midway through the movie.
That's sounds him. Weirdly.
Now that was like 15 years ago. So, okay, so now she talks him out of thinking she's having an affair because he can't get in the secret room because that's what happened last episode.
No, she distracts him more like by telling him, you're gonna go
ultra.
You're gonna go ultra,
which is the worst name for anything, right?
I know. Like, really, like, I'm like, that is what I would call sacrificing somebody in a cult. That would be my first name. And B, that means he's probably going to die.
Right? Well, she does say...
She's, like, having a party with him after. I'm like, this is your funeral party. This is you digging your grave. I'm sorry.
This is bad. Because he said he thanks her, and then she says, no, you did this all yourself with that look.
With that little menacing, I'm like,
not good.
No.
Not good.
No.
So, in the rest of this episode, we've got people pairing off, right? So,
Alex
and Nico go to the police because Nico wants to report the murders because Nico's done.
Nico's like done. She's like, I'm out.
Nico and Chase are on the Our Parents Are Killers team.
Yes.
Gert and Carolina are on the We Hope It's Something Else team.
And then
Alex,
okay.
Alex is right in the middle because he just found a gun stash full of cash.
Which is pretty much how it is in the comics. Like, I would imagine that's how it'd be in the comics, that's how it went in the comics, which it doesn't, that's not how it goes in the comics. They go and hide in a cave behind the Hollywood sign. I'm not joking. The giant cave in the Hollywood sign.
We're missing a cave in a Hollywood sign scene?
And the leapfrog. Leapfrog was cool, man.
I don't even know what that means.
It's Victor's invention.
Or maybe we'll see the leapfrog. I don't know.
I hope we see. They mentioned it.
So
but I don't know what it is.
Nico and Alex shows up. Nico wanted him to go to the cops, and he was like, "You're crazy, dude." But then everybody's pairing off, and then he's like, "Oh, Nico doesn't have anybody, and I'm not so secretly in love with her." And so he goes to join her at the cops. Gert and Carolina off to the Carolina's house to investigate old literature and ritual stuff from the church.
In which Gert is like, okay, you're not an awful you're not an awful person, and B, this gibbering stuff is pretty cool. And they don't exactly go into what like the actual beliefs are, which I kind of want to know more about just because of the fact that it's weird church stuff, and I don't know.
They'll get into it.
I hope they will. Because, like,
up to now, it's been very Scientology-esque, very kind of positive, and you can be what you want to be, but there's levels, which is very Scientology-like.
Yes.
So, because Carolina mentions that she doesn't know everything because some stuff is a level above her. Yeah, and maybe that's what's happening. And maybe some girl didn't get sacrificed.
Just, maybe the going ultra,
right.
Which is, again, murdery cult name.
Well, and maybe we didn't see a girl get thrown in a magic bean. That's not what we saw at all. It's not what was happening. So
everybody pairs off.
Everybody pairs off. Victor
Chase comes back. And
Chase comes back later, but first we gotta go to the cops because Nico and Alex reporting double murder.
Nobody,
but also, who shows up?
But the detective and the parents.
That's right, and then
idiots,
like you do,
because they got arrested. Trying to murder a homeless man.
But they got an in, right? They got the detective.
They did. They got the detective, and they're like, "Oh no!"
Clearly,
they have the police.
The detective knows everything and is paying off by Tina and Roberts, Nico's parents. So then Nico and Alex are like, "Time to go!" But
Alex stole the gun.
No, we only know he has the gun, but the cop saw them on the way out.
Oh, yeah, he was like, slightly menacing glare in your direction. Oh, you're here.
Oh, I see you.
I see you.
So that's going to set some conflict up in the future. Because we'll see where that goes. Because obviously it's bad when the cop that's getting paid off to hide all the murders is
It's bad when he gives you the menacing glare of,
exactly.
I see you.
Precisely. Now, what do we find in the stash of Carolina's mother's laptops? What do we find? What do you find in everything that's
Ultra!
What do we find?
And Gert says, maybe that's what we're looking for. Because it's a blatantly obvious cult sacrifice name.
And it also happens to be encrypted.
Oh, because...
But...
blatantly obvious that you're a cult leader.
What could go wrong? I mean, what's fishy about a church that has encrypted files? And, well, as with most TV shows involving things that need to be decrypted,
you go to the nerd.
You go to the nerd kid who has a cool R2D2 USB thing that he gave for his birthday, which is hilarious.
Which is amazing. I was like, ooh. Too
funny. So, later on, Alex will decrypt that rather quickly.
Yeah.
Because that's what the plot calls for. In reality, probably not going to.
In reality, that would take over 13
unless,
hours.
maybe it's some, low-level encryption.
But
crappy
why?
Encryption. But
you've done so well at covering up your tracks.
I know, right?
Now.
I would think if you're hiding the fact that you're murdering runaways to sacrifice them for your crusty old guy in the bed to keep him living forever, that you would
in your meditation room,
like you would put some kind of high level,
encryption.
Space encryption.
Yeah, what is it? It's like the
Like if there's ever a plot hole with the problem with aliens coming to Earth, it's that. Why don't you use some of your technology and not the super encryption that we've come up with? If you can get here and you can be a glowing person when the bracelet comes off, then I'm pretty sure you can encrypt your files better than Alex decrypting them. Come on.
You let teenagers decrypt your files in under 15
It's only
seconds.
The most important files you have.
It is.
The murder files.
The murder files.
And why do you keep the murder files on the laptop?
Why?
And of all the
just keep them on the flash drive.
And of all the places to keep them on the laptop, in a folder on the desktop
called Project Ultra. Again, murdery cult, big red arrow pointing right at your face.
So Gert and Caroline are doing their thing, but then Chase shows up. Because he has chosen to leave the lacrosse team, which is great.
Which is good. Because he's a good bro.
He is a good bro. We thought he was going to be a bad bro. I didn't know much about him. He was putting on a little show,
though.
It's
the Iron Giant. He's not an evil robot. He's a good robot. He's a good bro.
I'll take that comparison.
I'm sorry.
So Chase shows up, and then Gert's like, gotta go catch a lift. Brought to you by Lyft. The company
I counted 5 blatantly obvious.
As I said, somebody's got to pay for the show to be made, and clearly it was Lyft, which is fine because they're not Uber, who got 57 million personal files taken by hackers. Anyway, we don't know anything about that. Maybe it was Alex. He decrypted Uber's files. It's all a ploy by Lyft to promote Hulu's Runaways. That's hilarious.
That's amazing.
So then we finally get this Chase Carolina friction attraction thing going, which has been burning in the background, right? Why? Why do you want it to stop? They're just too young, attractive, ridiculously attractive, more attractive than any teenagers at any school has ever been in their entire lives.
I am nowhere near that attractive.
Right?
Right. Really, no, I'm not.
That's the funny thing about shows about teenagers in high school. It's like
And why are you all so attractive?
Why are they all pretty? And it's been like that forever. So like when I was a kid,
Chase is the ultimate pretty boy TM. Let's be honest.
It's true. Did you know he was on some Disney show? I forget what it was.
What was it?
One of those. I don't know. One of their
Descendants.
No.
I'm gonna name every Disney XD show off.
No, it was one of those old ones.
Like
with
old?
What were the one with the 2 kids?
Sweet Life of Zach and Cody?
That's it.
He was on that?
I think that's it.
Oh my god, wait, no. I need to know.
I really think that's it. I could be wrong, so somebody yell at me if I'm wrong, but that's fine. I'm not going to look it up right now.
I'm sorry for all the people who watched Disney.
Okay, so that thing's working, and Carolina's trying to figure out, did something happen with the dudes at the party, and Chase ensures her because she's not sure, and he's been trying to keep it from her to protect her from the fact that some dudes tried to do some stuff to her while she was passed out. Yeah. That nothing happened, that it got there right before things happened, and had the first bro down in which he beat everybody up in there, which was great.
The first good bro down.
That's right. So then she's like, come inside, I want to show you something. And Chase is like, huh? And
I know,
he's like, what are we doing?
I'm like, his face is priceless.
And it's like typical teenage guy, like, what's going to happen?
Yeah, the puppy dog eyes. Just
he's like, oh, okay, I will follow you wherever you go. So they get inside and she's like, I'm going to take off my bracelet. And he kind of goes, oh.
Is that a
not what he was expecting, necessarily. But, you know.
Then she turns into Lucy in the Sky. So I was like,
then she Lucy in the Sky.
No, that's her code name.
Is it?
That's like her act. Like that's the name that she uses. Lucy in the Sky. I'm
that's
not
awesome.
joking.
Or she referred to it in the show as Rainbow Bright.
Yeah.
Which I said she takes it off and she's got the power of the glow, which is another 80s reference, which the parents listening to this show will appreciate. But yeah, all of a sudden she's glowing, and he's she wants him to like touch her hand, and he's all like, I don't know, which is how I would be if some girl just started glowing.
Electrocution, radiation
everything?
poisoning.
Wait, what wouldn't you be afraid of if
your friend had glowing hands?
I mean, because you've seen some weird stuff, right? You've seen the magic bean.
Weird stuff, but not aliens.
You've not seen girl glowing.
He took it surprisingly well, seeing as like.
Well, he's got to keep it together.
For me, I would be like, what the hell?
Well,
what?
Chase thinks that she's putting out that vibe for him, like a lot of dumb teenage boys do. Like like anytime a girl like looks at you.
In the comics, she's a lesbian.
Is she?
Yeah, like full on. And it came into the plot later.
Because she's not really giving off necessarily
They did have that little clip in the first episode.
They did because she was.
And I was like, "Oh, is this foreshadowing?"
That's right. When she's watching the 2 girls kiss at the party. I forgot about that. So yes, some definite foreshadowing going on there. I was not aware that she was a lesbian in the comics. I
told you that, but I don't know if you were too involved with the.
I forget things. It happens. I'm old. You'll see. You'll get there. It's all right.
You're gonna hallucinate like Victor.
So, meanwhile, back at the Crunchy Granola parents, they're looking for our buddy Old Lace, Raptor.
Old Lace, the best bean.
Now, Aries is very excited about Old Lace. She's been very excited to talk about Old Lace.
I love my Raptor.
Old Lace looks really good. I will say I'm impressed. The CGI is good.
That's pretty good CGI. She also has feathers.
Yes, she does have little feathers, like she should.
I will say, for the most part, any lighting she has been in has been very dim.
Yes.
And I wonder if that's just either for a menacing effect,
it's probably
or
for both.
Because of a texture issue.
It's probably easier to not make it look as fake when she's in the dark, in the shadows. But I mean, yeah. You got to do what you got to do when you're making a TV show on a budget.
Yeah.
So they're out looking for her, but she's back home and she's getting ready to throw down with Molly.
Molly's like,
Molly
drop kicks her into the ceiling.
Molly gets all jacked up, and
it's like that scene
fight ensues. But Gert comes back, and Gert's got the mind control over the raptor, and she makes her chill. And the parents come back, and they're like, "Oh, there she is now." And then they're like, "Oh, we got to get out of here because it's time to go because we're done." We're done with life. They're ready to be done with the pride.
And then suddenly, out of nowhere, Nico's mom shows up.
Well, Nico's mom has, I think, suspected that they were doing something a little.
I didn't even get a hint that she actually showed up or that they knew she was there. I think they were just like.
No, she just showed up, surprised them because they didn't show up for the pride meeting, and she said she was coming to check.
I didn't see anything where they were like, "Oh, she's here." I was like, "Oh, suddenly."
No, she just showed up in the room.
Oh.
I think.
Staff of one. Definitely.
It'll do that.
I think, yeah.
So, basically, she says, I know you're getting ready to run to the ranch that Molly's parents apparently left to them, And with I don't think she knows about Old Lace. She doesn't know about Old Lace, right?
She doesn't know about Old Lace.
She only knows that they were trying to run.
Unless she can use her staff to do mind reading, which
she hasn't yet, for some reason.
For some reason, she has not.
But we do know that she's been digging up dirt on them with dude named Kincaid, I believe is his name.
I think, is that the dude with the
That's the dude with the Black Widow tattoo that they made a point of showing that we don't know why they're showing it, but maybe he's like Black Widow's cousin, and they're
I need to know. I must know.
Everybody in the Black Widow family gets a tattoo. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Are they making him like male Black Widow? What is this? He's also a redhead, so I was like,
It's true. So, what do we leave here? Now.
Did we forget something?
No, we did not forget anything. I'm just trying to read my... Oh, I did have a funny line here. So, like, when Gert comes into the room after Nico's mom leaves, her dad gets all mad, and he's like, this has got to stop with the sarcasm and the snide remarks. Admittedly, you got it from me, and I had to laugh because that reminds me of the few interactions that we've had.
That's me.
When I've had to tell you to stop doing things that I know that you do because
this is true.
You've gotten them.
This is where I can say this is relatable. This is a relatable TV show because this is absolutely true. Because I get 90% of my personality traits from you, and the other 10% is from my mom. And then you'll come up to me sometime and you'll be like, let me tell you how this is going to work because this is how my brain works. And then it works. And I'm like, we have almost identical personalities.
We do. We have the same brain. So, next thing. Super fast encryption skills by Alex in the coffee shop, which is fine. It's not an important plot point other than to find the fact that, they're hiding this list of runaways who have all been murdered.
Which I was a little impressed with how they executed that.
Yeah?
It was pretty smooth as far as there weren't as many holes as why were they it wasn't they're all the same age or they're all no, it had some pretty good basis as to the fact that A, nobody would have cared if they were gone, nobody would have noticed, and B, they're all just they're runaways essentially, they're not
Alex's dad said about the prostitute and the homeless person, people that don't matter.
People who, quote unquote, don't matter.
But, and then, whenever somebody from the coffee shop says that something's going on with your car.
It was a Prius, silver Prius, which I think is, again, blatant product placement. But
I think we all knew something was about to go down.
And I was in my head, I was like, no.
Don't do it.
No,
don't do it.
Don't do it.
But he does it because that's what the script says.
Alex.
And so Alex is kidnapped.
Gone.
By
I thought he would be.
So Nico runs out and goes, no, as they drive away.
And also I love how it takes him a while and nobody out in the coffee shop notices that he's being taken. Because
it did take a good 3 minutes.
It did take a good 3 minutes. And also the fact that he was yelling is get off me. And then they only then entered the car. Did they not drive up until then? What?
Maybe they weren't worried. I don't know. Maybe it's somebody he knows. Maybe it didn't seem like it was a thing when it happened.
Oh gosh, he's catching on.
So the last thing we see is a little montage of a few things, right? Mm-hmm. So we got Chase making the power glove or whatever it's called.
Yes. No, he said the name. What is it?
Super glove of
it's,
Destiny. Killer glove.
It does start with an
Gloverama.
It's
Ultra glove.
You were on the phone. I should have paused.
I'm all out of glove.
It was
fits like a glove.
Something glove, but it was some sciencey name.
Some sciencey name? Science glove? No.
This is the man I live with.
It's true.
But his dad comes in, he's all interested and all and at first he takes the I love laughing.
Takes the glove and chucks it.
Chase is just there and he's he takes the glove and he looks at it and Chase is looking at him and he just drops it. He's I knew you were going to do that as soon as I got
but then he's no, tell me about your prototype.
Which I'm
design.
Well, why did you drop it?
Why did you drop it in the first place? Because he can't do anything right because he's Victor.
And he's also insane. So
he's very insane. And then we get Carolina watching her mom and husband dancing around, celebrating when she's about to go ask him why she glows when she takes her bracelet off, and obviously she can't do that.
Yeah.
And now Gert's parents can't run away with them to the Yucatan because Ruiner Kincaid found out about him, and Tina's mom is Tina is having none of it.
She's she's worse than Victor in the comics.
Who?
Like in the comics,
Tina?
Victor is like one of the is the head honcho essentially.
Yeah.
But Nico's mom's like awful. Like I'll say that. I'm not gonna give away too much from the comics because I.
So that's where we leave it. We don't know where Alex went. We don't know what's gonna happen with poor sad actor guy who's married to Carolina's mom.
I know he's probably going to die.
He's pretty much going to die.
He's pretty much going to die.
Is he going to get sacrificed to the crusty old guy?
I think he's going to get sacrificed to the crusty old guy.
They don't really have much choice, do they?
Like he doesn't seem like the type of person. He got laid off by his own the guy that he hired
by his own agent, right?
I know. Like how does that happen? Like I think he's just one of those people.
So he's going to go ultra.
He's going to go ultra,
which is
quote unquote. Which we now know to be murder cult slang. You're going to go for
take a sleep in the bean. So
we also know that Chase has good taste in music.
What was Chase listening to?
I don't know.
But you liked it?
It's a remix of something. I've heard that song before. I think it was a remix of something, but I can't remember the name, and now I have to look it up on.
So, any more relatable moments for you? How do you feel that they're handling the teenageriness of the teenagers?
They're pretty good. I will say, you do have your little stereotypical moments where like it was like mostly in the first episode where like you get Carolina is your popular church girl,
right.
sunshiny happiness.
Right, they set everybody up as kind of a stereotype of.
And then they play with those stereotypes and make them, oh no, you're not really. And they really, like I said, like in the first thing we recorded, they really start to mess around with it when they get to Molly.
Yeah.
Because Molly is the youngest and also the one with mutant powers.
Right.
And
she's also the one that's kind of got it together the most.
She does. So despite being the youngest, she is the most mature. And like...
And that's the other mystery that we have with us is how her parents died because it was fairly mysterious.
See, I think I said this to Dad, and they were talking about how they gave her the house before they died.
Right.
And like they give Gert's parents, and then they say like they were like we had the whole thing where they died, and so in my head I'm thinking, well. They were trying, why would you bring that up? Because that specific lady. Now I was like, well, what if they tried to leave, like, their parents, and that's why. That's why Gert's mom was like, we can't leave now.
Right.
Because, they'll probably kill us like they did.
Well, it's insinuated in the scene when they're doing the flashback to the funeral that Robert and Tina had something to do with the death.
And Robert, like, they're, like, talking about,
because Alex's dad is like, we were supposed to be family. And
we're supposed to be family, and
so something clearly has gone
awry.
And then they're not exactly sure what's going on.
I think they left. I think they tried to leave. I think something went wrong, and they were like, nope. You can't do this anymore. Probably because they were having a kid. Because seeing as Molly's the youngest, like
it's true. Molly,
you don't want to kill any more kids once you have a kid, because then you know what it feels like.
Can't go soft in the pride, though.
You can't go soft in the pride
for whatever reason. Like that's the other thing is like when when Gert's parents don't show up, they talk about re-examining their commitment that they made years ago. Yeah. So we're trying to figure out why in the hell would anybody really do this?
Yeah, clearly. Like why? In the comics, it's because
spoiler alert.
It's spoiler alert. I'm sorry. In the comics, it's something about like the world ending and then them being able to essentially kind of become gods along with the Gibberin. Who I will describe this for you right now. Imagine
dragons,
frost giants from Thor.
Yes.
With giant heads.
Sweet.
And they're blue, and then I think there's like a yellow-green one.
Just to mix it up.
Just to mix it up. There's two of them. They're wearing like weird, like they're wearing like animal skull headdress, like type stuff. Like it's really weird. Like
so we're to believe that the point of the reason that they're doing this is to when the world ends that they'll be saved and be able to live on as
and the Giver need that to supposedly end, like they need the sacrifices to maybe either end the world. I don't remember that as clearly as I remember the characters.
Interesting.
And the crossover with Young Avengers, which was, by the way, amazing. An amazing crossover.
What was that? Runaways and Young Avengers?
Runaways and Young Avengers, which is also another highly underrated Marvel comic.
So that's interesting. So that storyline is very similar to what the X-Files did, which is this whole conspiracy
Monster of the Week.
Well, but the way they did the whole grand conspiracy, which was that all these people were sacrificing these other people under the guise that their families would be saved when all the aliens came.
Yeah.
Like they made a deal and said, "Oh, you can have all these people, just don't take my kid."
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Okay, that's an interesting thing to roll with. We'll see if that is where that ends up. I will say that I think the parents are interesting. I don't know.
They're interesting.
They're difficult for me to relate to, given that they are very rich, powerful people.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, they're all rich, except for
and they're all very
crunchy granola people aren't
right.
that
They're
bad.
trying to be rich because they're trying to help sell the serum and create things for.
But
teenagers.
they're not like trying to look rich.
No.
They're crunchy granola people. They don't want to be that. They're like
they're just caught up in this somehow, and we're not exactly sure why.
And they're actually nice.
They are very nice.
They're nice, but they're still killers, and so I have to
Chase's
take
mom is
everything
nice,
they
so
do
it's a good balance. But they're all very intense for the most part.
Yeah.
So we're gonna figure all that out, and we got the subplot with Nico's dad having the affair
with Victor's
which Chase's
I was
dad,
like,
mom.
Which I was like, I'm a little happy for you two, just because of the fact that
both your spouses are
like, just like Nico's mom is either royally pissed at anything and everything, or just like cold stone, like, and then Victor's just going insane.
And we don't know much about how Nico's parents were before. We only have seen short glimpses of them in the flashbacks.
She seems to be exactly the same.
Yeah, you think so?
She still takes her down with the staff of one. She's like, gives her the glare. It's that glare where she just like stares into your soul, deep eyes. I'm like, no, I don't like you.
It's a parental look. It comes like after you have kids, you get that look. Like
they
mail it to you.
My mother gives
you get it in the mail, and you're like, oh, that's how I do this look. And that's how you get it.
It's the look my mom gives me when I'm in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Still happy with the way things are proceeding. I think it's been an excellent show. I think it's been,
I haven't left unsatisfied.
That's good. I think that's all you can ask for.
Yep.
Again, being from the standpoint of them making a good quality television show.
What would you rate it?
What would I rate it?
On, like,
I still think it's a good solid B right now.
It's a solid B still.
I think it's trending up, and I hope they keep,
and keep
moving up and keep building it and keep, I think we've done the world building, so we've got the kind of foundation for the rest of the show in place after the first 4 episodes. So I think we can really start getting into some of the action and getting some of the stories.
I really do hope that we
actually
actually get into that.
I'm pretty sure we will. I think with Alex being kidnapped, I think we're ready to kick some things off here.
For those of you who have read the comics, you automatically know what is about to happen next.
Maybe, but we don't. Maybe it could be different.
They've heavily implied this kind of with him being stuck in the middle. I think that they're...
All right, well, we'll find out next week when we podcast our review of Episode 5 of Marvel's Runaways. So, until then, this is Justin.
This is Ari.
Have a good week. Talk to you next week.
Bye.